This is the audiobook sample for The Moon is Built In. Love is Expanding on Others' Heart by Chung Jin. This is my 37th audiobook, and it was released on April 2nd, 2021. If you watched my last video about portal code, you're in for something very similar if you decide to pick up this audiobook. It's another poorly written, incomprehensible festival of ideas that barely come together to form a cohesive story, though I will say that this one does a much better job of telling a story than Portal Code did. I think this title might have been translated from another language, too, so I'm not as harsh on it as I am Portal Code. The Moon is Built In is a martial arts epic chronicling the life of Chu Yan, a weak, inexperienced man described as a waste by his peers. Over time, he learns and grows to become an intimidating fighting force, dispatching crafty villains and vicious monsters, and gaining the knowledge of forbidden techniques. My biggest gripe is that it ends with a cliffhanger and is unlikely to get a sequel. Also, the cover with two lovey-dovey dopes has absolutely nothing to do with the actual story, which I thought was pretty funny. There is a love interest, but she shows up maybe twice in the entire book. That being said, it's actually a pretty fun story to listen through, and it clips along at a speedy pace. It reminds me of older video games, in the sense that the limitations of the medium, and the lack of story itself, require you to use your imagination to fill in the blanks. Where we all have an idea of how Mario and Bowser would look like with realistic depictions, so too can we imagine a spirit tiger bordering Chu Yan's shoulders, and lightning firing from his hands as he ferociously fights to prove his worth, not just to his countrymen, but to himself. I hope you enjoy this audiobook sample. Chapter 1: Instant Recovery. The moon is high, and the wind is dark with clouds. Saitama Prefecture, Luonan City, Jiqianzong. 10-star martial arts! Golden white tiger god beast! Ha ha ha! I finally have... The roar of a juvenile suddenly rang through the courtyard. At the same time, above the sky, thunders exploded, like a roar of beasts, and a thunder of heaven punishment with the might of heaven and earth, violently blasted to the ground. That thunderstorm, right on the roof of the courtyard, the lightning current turned, and the electricity was shining. The teenager under the ecstasy, when Wu just woke up, was actually struck by lightning. In this moment, the young man's soul was smashed and killed on the spot. Well, isn't it late self-study? Isn't it a blackout? Isn't it thundered? The corpse on the ground suddenly stood up. I shook it twice and walked to the mirror in the room. Where is this special? The figure standing in front of the mirror was full of dullness and confusion. The boy is still that boy. Chu Yan is no longer Chu Yan. Yes, the same windy, dark, cloud-filled night. Chu Yan, who was studying by himself last night, in the roaring thunder and lightning, watched as the thunder and lightning hit the classroom circuit, and the classroom was full of electric fire. Wu Chuan passed through. I opened my eyes and looked at myself in the mirror. Chu Yan took only 3 seconds from horror to ecstasy. It's great. Finally don't have to look at the class teacher's bad face. Chu Yan, who was excited, hadn't been happy for a long time, and the memories that burst out in his head made him eccentrically. Extreme Taizhong Limit 3 wastes. Why are you so wasteful? This identity makes Chu Yan frantic. Grass the grass. What does Nima pass through welfare? Let me be waste. Lu Shouwan stared at her in the mirror with a grin. Lu Shouwan, from the Chu family in Luonan City. His father was the affiliate of the Chu family in Longmen Town. When Chu Yan was 10 years old, he stayed in this position for 3 years. There are many internal discussions in the Xiang ethnic group. Various waste rumors have caused the father, who is a dignified branch principal of the Chu family, to save all his savings, walk through the back door, and send him into the heavenly sect. I hope that relying on the huge amount of cultivation resources of Zhishanzong, Chu Yan will become stronger. Whoever thought? 23 years have passed. In addition to receiving the glorious title of 1,000 Years of Waste, Chu Yan still stays in the quenched body section. And the memory of the cause of Yuan Shuyan's death has made Chu Yan extremely depressed, not knowing whether to cry or laugh. Yuan Chu Yan, who is the ultimate waste of 3 years, is not really waste, but because of his martial spirit. Although Chu Yan figured out everything about his predecessor, now a serious problem is before him. Would he continue to awaken Wu Hun or give up? Grass. Lao Tzu is the invincible boy on the first day of the universe, afraid of a fart. I want to be the first in the world. In the roar of Chu Yan shaking the roof, a white light rose into the sky, and the overbearing breath filled the room. And in the room, Wu Hun awakening started again. Roar! A beast roar trembled, and the virtual shadow above Chu Yan's head rose, showing his body quickly. This is a huge white tiger, with dorsal wings and double horns. The teeth in the mouth are flush with the chest. The body is strong and strong. The pattern is covered with golden lightning. The white tiger beast is rendered with golden light, and the white tiger holds the beast head high, just like the king who came to the world. The 2 neat rows of shining Venus on the top of Wu Baihu's head, emitting 10 glare white lights, are the status symbols of the legendary 10-star Wu Hun. So handsome, martial spirit! A link to purchase The Moon is Built In is in the description. This title was a pay-for-hour production, so I do not make money from any purchases. Thanks for listening.